Hi everybody, welcome back. Today we will get started in wide-legged child's pose, big toes to touch, knees apart as wide as your yoga mat, hips to your heels, and walk your arms forward, letting your chest and your head bow down. Now, if your chest and your shoulders feel a little bit tight in this position, you are more than welcome to walk your hands a little bit wider than shoulder distance to give yourself some space. And feel free to place a block or a folded or rolled up towel underneath your forehead. As you settle into your hips, start to deepen your breath in and out through your nose, sending the breath down into your belly and up into your chest. And as you exhale, let your chest empty out first, let your belly empty out last. Take one more breath. Press your palms firmly into the floor, keeping your legs the same. On your next inhale, rise up. And then exhale, let your hips go forward and down towards the floor as far as comfortable. Tuck your tailbone and draw your navel to your spine to protect your lower back. And then as you exhale, send your hips back to your heels, back to wide-legged child's pose. Inhale, lift up. Let your hips go forward and down as far as comfortable as it is for you. And then exhale, send your hips back to your heels, child's pose. Let's do that one more time. Inhale forward, hips go forward and down. Maybe look up, maybe find a little back bend. And exhale, hips to your heels. Rise up to tabletop, hands and knees. Walk your hands forward and let your elbows go down towards the floor. Start to walk your knees back, letting your hips go up towards the sky. Knees are stacked underneath your hips. Feel free to place that block or that towel underneath your head. Feel free to walk your forearms towards the edges of your mat to give yourself some more space in your chest. Breathe deeply here. Feeling that light arch in your lower back. Draw your navel to your spine if you're just feeling a little bit of compression there. And then slowly rise back up onto your hands and knees. Next inhale, belly drops, heart forward for cow. Exhale, round through your back, chin to chest, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow, mini back bend. Exhale, round through your back. Find a neutral spine. Walk your hands about a handprint forward and then lower all the way down onto your belly. Shift your elbows forward so that way they're stacked underneath your shoulders for Sphinx pose, forearms parallel to each other. And then bend your right knee. Take your right knee out to the side for a half frog legs. Your leg can be in a 90-degree angle, or you can bend your right knee more and let your right foot go towards your left inner thigh. Try to relax through your lower body as much as you can here. If you're feeling a little bit of compression in your lower back, then think about lengthening your tailbone towards the back of your knees. Feel free to also move your head around for this first Sphinx with half frog legs. And don't forget to breathe. Straighten out your right leg behind you. And then exhale, bow your chest down, walk your hands by your rib cage, and then inhale, lift up for a baby cobra, chest lifts. Exhale, bow your forehead to the floor. Inhale, cobra, maybe a little higher. Exhale, bow. Inhale, cobra, high or low. Exhale, bow, tuck your toes. Press up to tabletop pose as you inhale. Exhale once you're there. Now, keeping your right leg bent, take your right knee out to the side like a dog going up to a fire hydrant. And then exhale, let your right knee lower back down. Inhale, take it out to the side. Exhale, lower. Inhale, take it out to the side. And then start to make a big circle with your right knee. So letting your right knee go back and then down and then out to the side and just continuing to move and opening through that hip. And then reverse the circular motion. On your next inhale, extend your right leg long behind you, look forward. And exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Scoot your left knee back a couple of inches. You can keep your hands or fingertips on the floor or place blocks underneath your hands to lift the ground to you. With your right foot angled out to the side a little bit, squeeze your right knee in towards your right arm as you let your hips sink a little bit more towards the floor. You can also engage through your left glute a little bit to release through your left hip flexor here. If you had blocks, go ahead and remove them off to the side. Slide your right leg all the way to the back of your mat. Pivot your left shin out to the side and reach your right arm up to the sky. Press the sole of your right foot down as you lift through your right side, supported side plank. And then exhale back to tabletop pose, hands and knees. Walk your hands about a handprint forward and then lower down onto your belly. Setting up for Sphinx, elbows underneath your shoulders. Once you're in Sphinx pose, we'll take that half frog leg with our left leg. Let your left knee go out to the side, left leg either in a 90-degree angle, or you can bend your left knee even more and let your left foot go to the inside of your right leg. Once you're in position, relax through your lower body. Think tailbone lengthening towards your back heels if you're feeling too much compression in your lower back. Extend your left leg back to meet your right. Take an inhale here in Sphinx. Exhale, bow your chest down. Slide your hands by your low ribs. Inhale, lift up for Cobra, high or low. Exhale, melt your heart towards the floor. Inhale, Cobra, look to the right, adding a twist. Exhale, bow. Inhale, Cobra, look to the left. Exhale, bow. Tuck your toes. Inhale, press up to table. Exhale once you're there. From tabletop, inhale, take your left knee out to the side, keeping it bent. Exhale, take it down. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, lower to center. Inhale, take it out to the side and continue to draw those circles with your left knee. Move nice and slow, feeling your left hip move within the socket of your hip joint. Try to keep your arms stable and strong. And then reverse the circular motion of your left knee. Next inhale, extend your left leg back, look forward. Exhale, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand, setting up for our lizard lunge. Hands on the inside of your left foot, either on blocks or the floor. Squeeze your left knee in towards your left arm, allowing your hips to sink a little bit further. Maybe even a light engagement in your right glute to open up through your right hip flexor. And slide your left leg to the back of your mat, foot on the ground. Right shin pivots out to the side, left arm reaches up, supported side plank. And exhale, hands and knees to the floor. Flip your toes, send your hips back, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And take whatever movement feels good in this downward facing dog. Pedal through your heels, bicycle through your legs. And then bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, step your feet up to the front of your mat, forward fold, feet hips distance. Take a big bend in your knees, grab opposite elbows, let your head hang heavy for a moment, maybe shake your head yes and no. Just releasing through your spine. Release your hands to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, create a flat back, either fingertips on the floor or hands to your shins. Exhale, soften your knees and bow forward. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway up, inhale. Exhale, fold, either hands on the floor or blocks. Step your right foot to the very back of your mat. Drop your right knee down. Low lunge, make sure that your left knee is stacked directly over your heels, not going past your toes. And you can keep your hands on the blocks or floor, Or you can interlace your fingers over your left thigh and lift up. Think tailbone down, engaging through your right glute. If your hands are on your thighs, lower your hands back down to the floor. Pivot your right shin over to the left a little bit. Left hand to your left thigh. Reverse cartwheel your right arm towards the back wall. Reach your left hand forward for modified warrior 2. Think tailbone down as you sink your hips forward, feeling that stretch in your inner thighs. Take another breath in. And exhale, cartwheel your hands down to the floor. Step back to tabletop pose. And with your hands on the ground, tuck your toes, hips back, downward facing dog. Either movement or stillness here for a couple of breaths. And slowly lower back down to tabletop pose. Extend your right leg long behind you. Look forward, inhale. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, tap. Inhale, right leg goes back. Exhale, tap your right elbow. Inhale, take it back. Exhale to right elbow, pause for a moment. And then step your right foot in between your hands, setting up for a low lunge on this side. Again, either hands on the floor, blocks, or hands over your front thigh. Just make sure that your front knee isn't going past your toes. Lengthen your tailbone down. Next, inhale, hands lower. Pivot your left shin over to the right a little bit, and we'll reverse cartwheel up to that warrior 2 modification. Think tailbone down, soften your shoulders away from your ears as you extend through your fingertips. See if you can sink your hips a little bit more forward here. Take another breath in. And on your exhale, cartwheel your hands down, look forward, step up to the front, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, reach up to the sky, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, swan dive, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway up, Ardha. Exhale, hands to your blocks or the floor. Step your left foot all the way to the back of your mat. Lower your left knee. Scoot your right foot over to the edge of your mat, hands on the inside for lizard. You can stay here or add a twist. Right hand to your right thigh, and as you twist your right chest back, push your right thigh away from you gently. You can also reach your right arm up to the sky, or you can bend your left knee and catch your left foot with your right hand for a quad stretch. Stick with your variation for another breath in. On your breath out, hands to the floor. Pivot your left shin over to the right a little bit. And with your right hand on the inside of your right foot, reach your left arm up to the sky for modified side angle. Think tailbone down towards your back knee. And exhale, circle your left hand down. Step your right foot to the very back of your mat. Left shin pivots out to the side. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Either stay in supported side plank or lift your right leg for balancing quarter moon. Stay here or take one tap of your top elbow and knee in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hands and knees to the floor, tabletop pose. Send your hips back to downward facing dog for a breath or 2. Although if you would like to go to a child's pose, you are more than welcome to do so. You can also hit the pause button and rest for a few breaths if you'd like. But if you're ready, make your way back to tabletop, hands and knees. Next, inhale, extend your left leg long behind you, look forward. Exhale, left knee taps your left elbow. Inhale, left leg goes back. Exhale, tap your left elbow. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, left elbow, hold for a breath in. And then step your left foot to the outside edge of your mat, hands on the inside, lizard pose. Either stay neutral with your spine, or you can add that twist, left hand to the inside of your left thigh. You can reach your left arm up to the sky, or maybe take that quad stretch, grabbing your right foot with your left hand. Stay in your variation for 2 more breaths. Next, exhale, both hands down to the floor. Pivot your right shin over to the left. And with your left hand down, reach your right arm up, modified side angle. Think tailbone lengthening down. Take another breath in. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Step your left foot to the very back of your mat. Pivot your right shin over to the right and reach your left arm up. Stay here or lift your left leg. Stay there or take that one tap of your left knee and elbow. Inhale, extend. And exhale, we'll make our way to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe go to child's pose, maybe hit the pause button. If you are in downward facing dog, slowly make your way down to child's pose. And we're going to take a wider leg child's pose than we first started. So take your knees out even wider, maybe even off of your mat. And as you send your hips back as far towards your heels as you can, walk your hands as far forward as you can. Let your chest and head bow down. You'll have a little bit of backbend sensation with your tailbone tipping up, and you should feel a nice stretch on your inner thighs. And when you are ready, make your way back to downward facing dog. From down dog, make your way to the front of your mat to your forward fold. Rise up to standing, reaching your arms up to the sky with the inhale. Exhale, hands to your hips. Take a big step of your left leg to the back of your mat. Toes turn out, heels turn in, facing the left side. And then exhale, bend your knees for goddess pose, arms in goalpost or hands interlaced behind your head. And as you stay here, think tailbone lengthening down and drag your feet apart from each other on the floor to open through your inner thighs and groin. Stay for another breath in. See if you can go a little bit deeper on the exhale. Inhale, extend everything up. Exhale, dive down to wide-legged forward fold. Walk your feet to the front, step back to plank, and then we'll make our way to wide-legged child's pose. Take a couple of breaths here. So now we are ready for our final big hip stretch and inner thigh opener. So come to a tabletop position and face one of the long edges of your mat. If you would need some padding for your knees, you can either fold up your mat like I'm doing here, or you can just take blankets underneath your knees. So for the first version, which is tadpole, you'll bring your big toes to touch and take your knees as wide as you can. Either come to your forearms or let your arms extend in front of you if you want more of a back bend sensation. So that's tadpole. If you would like to go into the full version, frog pose, you'll let your feet come apart. Your heels will be in line with your knees, and your hips will essentially be in line with your knees. They're not going to go all the way back. So your legs are essentially in 90-degree angles. Now you can take your forearms to the ground, or you can extend your arms forward and let your chest bow down. You can also use a block underneath your head or your chest, whichever version you have with your arms. So either tadpole or frog pose, otherwise known as Mandukasana. This is a big hip stretch for our inner thighs and inner groin. It's essentially been the peak pose that we've been working up towards class. Now, this pose can be very intense, so if neither of the variations feel good for you, then just stick with wide-legged child's pose, just like we started at the beginning of class. We'll stay here for just a few breaths. And try to keep your breath steady and full as much as you can. That'll help ease any of the tension and intensity of the pose. But if the pose gets too much, then you are more than welcome to get out of it whenever you are ready. Otherwise, continue to stay. Carefully coming out of the posture, slowly one at a time, come up onto your hands. Walk your feet back to the center to meet, and then one leg at a time, let your knees come back to meet each other at the center. Once you're in tabletop, bring your legs together and just start to move your hips left to right, swaying them. And then you can turn from swaying into circles, going back and forth, side to side, whatever movement feels good to reset through your hips. And then unfold your mat if you had it folded. Sit back at the center of your mat, extend your legs towards the front. Keeping a soft bend in your knees, flex your feet towards your face. Inhale, arms reach up. And exhale, hinge from your waist forward. Grab anywhere along your legs or your feet. Take a big breath in to lengthen. And then exhale to fold. If you had your arms forward and you had more of a back bend sensation in your frog, feel free to round through your upper back here, but try to keep your lower back as flat as you can. And on your next inhale, look up and lengthen your spine, and then rise up. Draw your left knee into your chest. Step your left foot to the outside of your right thigh. Take an inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, twist to the left. Hug your left knee in with your right arm, with your left hand behind you on the floor. And rather than trying to crank yourself into the twist, use your breath. So use your inhales to lengthen and use your exhales to softly twist a little bit deeper. On your next inhale, untwist. And then exhale, switch your legs, right knee in, right foot to the outside of your left leg. And then twist to the right, hugging your right knee in with your left arm, right hand behind you on the floor. Again, think length with your inhale. And then just soften into that twist as you exhale. On your next inhale, untwist. Extend both legs forward. And then make your way down onto your back, both knees bent with your feet on the floor, knees pointing up. Now you have three options for a reclined twist. With your feet at the edges of your mat and your arms to a T, let your knees drop to the right. That's option 1. Option 2, draw both knees into your chest, and with your legs together, let your legs drop to the right. Option 3, you'll cross your left thigh over your right thigh like you're creating a fancy seat. Scoot your hips to the left and then just let your knees fall to the right. If you're taking option 2 or 3, you can take your left arm out to the side, and if it's okay for your neck, you can look towards your left hand. And just take a couple of breaths, whichever version of a recline twist that you have. And on your next inhale, draw your knees back to center. And then whichever version of a recline twist that you chose on the right, we'll go ahead and take that over the left. If you took the third option, twisted roots, you'll cross your right thigh over your left thigh, scoot your hips to the right, and let your knees drop to the left. And again, right arm can be out to the side, and if it's okay for your neck, you can look towards your right hand. If not, just look up towards the ceiling. Slowly draw your legs back to center. Uncross your legs if you had them crossed. Walk your feet to the edges of your mat. Let your knees fall in towards each other, a little internal rotation. Take one hand to your belly, one hand to your chest. And as we settle towards the end here, just take this last few moments just to feel your breath in your hands. You know, you are more than welcome to stay here for your final pose of ease and stillness. If you are ready for a more traditional Shavasana, let your legs go long to the front of your mat, feet a little bit wider than hips distance, arms by your sides. Let your feet flop out with your palms facing up towards the ceiling. And as you settle into this final space, just allow your breath to become completely effortless. And let your body settle into the earth, for you are home. And as always, if you would like to stay here a little bit longer in Shavasana, you are more than welcome to hit the pause button and continue to rest. Otherwise, as you start to draw a deeper breath back into your body, bring some gentle movement in, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Maybe a gentle tilt of your head left to right. With your next inhale, reach your arms back, reach your legs forward, full body stretch. And then exhale, draw your knees into your chest, roll to the right side of your body, taking pressure away from your heart, promoting relaxation within. And at your own time, gently press yourself up to find a seat facing the front of the room. Sitting up nice and tall, draw your hands to your heart center in Anjali Mudra, thumbs connecting at your sternum, that place where love, kindness, and compassion begins. Take a big breath in together. Exhale, release it. Biggest breath of the day. Inhale, arms reach up to the sky, look up. And exhale, draw your hands back to your heart center. Drop your chin to your chest, a sign of gratitude for yourself for giving yourself this time, honoring our teachers, the strength, knowledge, and awareness that we gain from this practice. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. Namaste. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, leave a comment, share it with a friend. And if you are new to the channel and you want to see more, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I will see you all next time. Have a wonderful day.